So we haven't uploaded a video to YouTube in 4 months, and we owe all of you a big apology.
We're sorry.
Really sorry.
Oddly enough, it wasn't our intention to take a break at all, especially without giving you guys a heads up first. We want to get back into making videos. However, there are some things that Brittany and I were ignoring that started happening probably 12 months ago regarding the logistics of YouTube and a few other things that compounded and kind of snowballed into this big mess that caused us to take 4 months off of making videos. So we're going to get into that a little bit in this video.
And we want to give an update to our lives and briefly talk about the future of our channel.
Okay, so the TLDR is that YouTube was something that we really enjoyed doing when we first started. But over the last 6 months or so of making YouTube videos, it had turned into something that was not enjoyable at all for the most part. It turned into something that created a lot of stress in our lives, a lot of pressure, a lot of anxiety. Honestly, it caused a decent amount of discord between Brittany and I. And Brittany and I don't usually argue at all.
And we were arguing a lot.
Yeah, and it seemed like the center or focus of our arguments 99% of the time was YouTube.
It was.
So like I said before, we ignored this for a while and allowed this stress to build up to a point where we just needed a break from it. Again, our intention was not to just stop posting cold turkey and not say anything about it, but that's what ended up happening. So yeah, we're sorry about that. So when we first started our YouTube channel, our intention was to create a channel that Brittany and I wish we had that we could have watched while we were becoming debt free, when we were paying off all of our debt, all $120,000 of it. We wanted to be the couple that we could have gotten inspiration and encouragement from, who had already crossed the finish line, who had gotten to where we want to be, who had paid off all their debt, who was in the place in life that we so desperately wanted to be in, but still felt so far away from.
So we hit the ground running, and at first talking to a camera was very awkward for me, and a little less awkward for Mike.
It still is to some extent. I mean, there's nobody that it's just a camera lens that we're talking to here. Like this is what we see. This thing right here is what we're talking to. Like there's no person right there. It's just a camera lens.
So even though it was very awkward at first, we wanted to make videos, and we did end up making a lot of videos about everything we went through on our journey to becoming debt free.
I mean, we talked about our successes, our failures, how we tripled our income in the process, how we saved every extra penny we could. We also uploaded probably 20 videos going over our monthly budget, just because budgeting was one of the things that Brittany and I struggled the most with when we first started kind of getting into personal finance and getting our, managing our money.
Yeah, that was something that was very foreign to us at the beginning.
But even though, as awkward as it was talking to a camera throughout all this, we had motivation internally doing all this because we really wanted to help other people get through what we had to go through.
Yeah.
Like we wanted other people to feel like, hey, they were not alone. Other people have gone through this. It's totally possible to become debt free and get your life back on track, even if you're not making a bunch of money.
Yeah, and regardless of what is going on in the world or in your life, it's still possible to do.
So that was our motivation, and it was a very strong motivation. And after 6 to 9 months of making all these videos, we had created what we had set out to create, like mission accomplished, and we felt great about it.
Yeah.
However, after that, we didn't really know what to do because we had done everything we wanted to. So we started making a few videos about like what our next steps were going to be, investing in the stock market and things like that, buying a house.
Selling a house.
Yeah.
But we didn't have much experience in all of that. This led to us making very surface level videos because we didn't have nearly the amount of depth of understanding like we did for our debt-free journey.
And this is where the problems began to happen, because up until this point, we just had expertise in what we were talking about. We had gone through it recently. It felt different making videos about things that we just didn't have quite the detailed knowledge or experience with. And at the end of the day, we want to make videos that we have authority over, like that we're talking about things that we have expertise or authority on. What we started to do because of this, it was just kind of talk about what we were doing. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing with our stock portfolio. This is how we're choosing stocks. This is our reasons for investing. This is our reasons for saving this much money or spending this much money, whatever. But I feel like we can only make so many of those videos before it just things start repeating themselves and gets old or whatever. And so this led to a catch-22 in our minds. And that is, in order to make helpful videos that we have authority over and expertise in, or at least the subjects we're talking about, we have to spend the time gaining experience and expertise in those subjects.
And also a lot of knowledge as well.
However, the video creation process that is involved in YouTube, and it's not just sitting here filming, like there's a lot more involved, that takes so long that it was preventing us from learning new things to talk about, like gaining expertise in other things so we could share what we learned with you guys. So that was kind of the first crack in the bridge, or crack in the dam, or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And also we had different schedules. So this is another thing that made that crack worse. And so I would get home from work, I would be tired or hungry, and Mike would be ready to film, and it just unfortunately created some problems.
Yeah, Brittany didn't want to film at all. I had been working on a video like all day. I was still in work mode. I was like ready to go, and Brittany's like, "Get me out of work mode. I want to eat. I want to sit down." And
I just wanted to rest for a little bit.
Yeah, there, guys. I cannot tell you how many days were like this. And probably 90% of them.
Yeah.
And it's so funny and discouraging at the same time. Like, many of the times that like Brittany was ready to film, I wasn't ready, or I wasn't up to it, or like when I wanted to film, like I was like, let's go, let's do this. Brittany didn't want to.
Then I wasn't ready.
And it was always this back and forth. It's like one of us was like in the mood, ready to go, but the other one wasn't. It is almost impossible, I would say it is impossible, to run a YouTube channel with two people.
On two different schedules.
Yeah. Like there has to be some overlap where both people can agree and like and feel up to it. I mean, because it's not just agreeing, hey, like this is the time we make videos. If one of us isn't in the mood to make a video, it's going to come across.
Yeah.
Like I promise you.
Yeah, or if one of us is on the weather. Or
yeah, and then like the video is not going to have like the upbeat feel that's going to keep people engaged, and like it's going to help make it helpful and things like that. So anyways, yeah.
You get the picture. So something more recently that has been very frustrating to us that we have noticed is YouTube, for whatever reason, is not showing some comments on our channel publicly. So the user will post the comment and probably think that it's public for everyone to see, but they cannot see it.
Yeah, and there's a word for this. It starts with a C and ends with a ship. You guys probably know the word, but
this is another reason why we've been getting frustrated at YouTube, because now we don't want to say the word.
Yeah, so out of an abundance of caution, we're just going to avoid the word. But you guys probably know what it is. So anyways, we can see the person, or we can see the comment on our end. The other person can see the comment on their end, but publicly it's not visible. And the only way to make it visible to the public is for us to pin it at the top of the comment section. And these comments, they're not hateful, they're not derogatory. Comments like that, or like they use vulgar language or whatever, they're
held for review.
On our end, like we can see every comment that comes in that like is like that.
Yeah.
And you know, if it's too profane or whatever, we just have to delete it. But no,
that's very rare.
Yeah, these are comments that are kind of like being placed under the shadows to everyone else. This gets on our nerves. We think it's very important if somebody has an opinion that they be able to express it, especially you guys, our viewers.
Yeah, because you guys are very important to us, so when we see this happening to y'all, it frustrates us.
Yeah, regardless of whether or not we agree with it.
Yeah, because there's been ones we don't agree with it, but we would be fine with it being on our channel.
Yeah, so it's on multiple videos that this has been happening on, and not just ours, a whole range of videos on YouTube. This has made us seriously question if we want to continue making videos on YouTube, just because we severely dislike this.
Yeah.
We're going to keep making videos on YouTube just because there's not really anywhere else to go yet. But we hope either YouTube changes its policy regarding its self-moderation or the algorithm's moderation of the comment section.
Yeah.
Or there's another platform that just has a one-up on YouTube that allows more free speech.
And this is a great segue into something else we needed a break from, and that was the YouTube algorithm. And this drove Mike especially insane.
Oh, goodness, you guys. Okay, so if you run a business, right, it's on you to market your business to whoever you want to market it to, and to make sure that the product that you're making or service that you have, it's up to you to make it be seen by people who you think you could be potential customers, right? In my opinion, the same thing is true if you're doing YouTube as a business. And in all honesty, that's part of Brittany's and my intention with this. Like, we're trying to treat it as a business. Although you may be asking yourself, all right, well, why'd you take 4 months off? We get it,
Yeah, fair.
That being said, with YouTube videos, Brittany and I don't have control over who sees them. And I know that's really weird to say, but there is this all-seeing eye that is the YouTube algorithm that basically determines like who sees our videos, even our subscribers. We cannot tell you guys how many comments.
The number of subscribers who will say, where's a video? We haven't seen a video, and we literally had just put one out.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, like YouTube is not putting our videos on the homepage of y'all's screen. You're not getting notifications of it. Whatever. We don't control this. It drives us crazy because it just makes absolutely no business sense whatsoever. It's really frustrating having one of the most important parts about running a business out of our control.
It's also really frustrating too when you're trying to reach an audience to try and help them and reach as many people as you can to help as many people as you can. It can be really frustrating and almost self-defeating.
Yeah. And guys, this is a channel about money. We're going to continue talking about money. We would be amiss not to mention the straw that broke the camel's back here, and that may not be accurate to say. This is a big part of us taking some time off to kind of reevaluate things. Was that our revenue on YouTube has been on a steady decline ever since first getting monetized. When we first got monetized, we were earning like $1,500, $1,700, $1,900 a month. I think we almost passed $2,000 a month. Mm-hmm. And initially we were like, okay, this is something that we can turn into a business very quickly. If we're making this much money a few months after getting monetized, like we should be fine spending a decent amount of time doing YouTube.
And also it was a goal too, like the more we could make from it, the more we could also give back. So that was a huge driving factor as well.
Yeah.
But we saw it declining.
Yeah. So I think there were like 3 or 4 months where our revenue was pretty good, and we could justify spending tens of hours a week working on YouTube. But it got to the point 4 months ago where we really couldn't. And unfortunately, that was at a time where I was spending the most time on YouTube. So I was spending 30, 40, 50 hours a week doing YouTube stuff. I know it's crazy to think about considering we were only putting one video out a week.
Yeah.
But that's the truth of it. And
yeah, because Mike was trying to make the videos better. Like he was trying to get it more engaging, work on the analytics, everything behind the scenes that you don't really see.
Yeah, like we even introduced music and like storytelling to some of our videos. Like we went ham on it. And that stuff's really fun to me. But at the end of the day, if it's not paying well, then we just can't afford to spend that much time on it. And so, combining the algorithm not being in control of who sees our videos, combining our revenue going down, spending more and more time on YouTube, our schedules getting more and more out of sync because of this, it got to the point where we just had to take a break because we were driving ourselves crazy. And it's kind of embarrassing to say that, but that's just the God's honest truth. Mm-hmm.
So with all that being said, we wanted to give you guys a life update and what we've been doing in the last 4 months that we haven't been on YouTube.
Okay, first thing, our stock portfolio. We have made a lot of changes to our stock portfolio. We sold out of most of our positions in January just because we saw market conditions teeter-tottering on things that were not so good. Yeah. And in our minds, there was a much greater risk of things just falling off a cliff than there was things going back up to all-time highs. So hindsight's always 20/20, but in hindsight, we're glad we did that.
Yeah.
We consolidated our portfolio to our highest conviction stocks and ETFs, simplified our Roth IRAs a lot. And as of right now, we're holding about 65% cash and taking advantage of the dips.
And I got a new to us car, so it's still older, but it was an upgrade from what I had been driving before. Yep. And it's been nice.
Yeah, we got a good deal on it, $3,000, which doesn't sound like much of a car, but it's a good car.
Yeah.
It's a very good car for $3,000. Most of that $3,000 was paid for by selling Brittany's old car and by doing some stock market trades. Oh yeah, next update is I started a YouTube channel of my own. Well, this is a channel I've had for a while. It's just I've been posting more recently on it. I'm posting stuff that wouldn't really fit on this channel. It's still finance related, but it just kind of dives into the weeds a little bit with the Fed and interest rates and maybe like certain company research regarding stocks and things like that. I haven't made a video on it in a while. It's been maybe a month or so, but I do plan on making more videos there that just wouldn't fit here. So if you're interested in checking that out, that link will be in the description. Go take a look, subscribe if you want to. I'd love to see you there.
So another update in our lives is we renewed the lease on our apartment that we're in, and it went up 15%. And this was not something we were seeing coming, and also wasn't our intention to rent another year.
Yeah, we may make another video dedicated to just this, but yeah, like we were only really planning on being in this apartment a year or two. Our intention was to buy another house. We actually almost moved to Florida.
Yeah.
Brittany got offered a job in Florida, so like
that was another thing.
We were very close to moving, but at the end of the day, we decided to stay here. We were expecting our rent to go up like 2%, maybe 5% given the amount of inflation,
yeah,
but not 15%. And probably the biggest update to our lives, and this is something else we'll probably make a dedicated video about, is that Brittany and I are both becoming real estate agents.
Yep.
That was something we're excited about.
Yeah, we both enrolled in classes, and we will start very soon.
Yeah.
So we're both really excited about that.
Yeah, this is an in-person class, not an online class, so it's going to go on for a longer period of time, I guess, than an online class would go. All right, guys, the last thing we want to talk about today is the future of our channel. And yes, we will keep making videos, but going forward, we're going to have to do things differently than we used to, just for our own sanity. One of the biggest things we're going to be doing differently is that we're not going to force ourselves to post a video once a week or on any consistent schedule when we don't have anything to talk about. Yeah, I mean, really what it comes down to, we're not going to make videos if we don't have anything to talk about. That's one of the biggest things that got us into trouble last time.
Yeah, and I think it started to feel more forced, and we don't want to come across that way at all.
So now we have a number of videos that we want to make.
Yeah.
We're not sure the timeline at which we'll be able to produce them, just again given our difference in schedules, with Brittany working 9 to 5 and me being more on a self-employed type of work schedule, but we're going to try our best.
Yeah, and with our classes coming up, it'll be pretty tight, but we want to give updates for that.
Oh yeah, that's something else we want to talk about, is our like real estate class updates and like what that looks like. So in terms of the business side of YouTube, this is going to be a terrible thing to do because YouTube loves consistency. The algorithm loves consistency, but for our sanity, this is a trade-off we have to make. We hope you guys understand.
Yeah.
And with that being said,
that's pretty much everything in a nutshell. And we hope you guys enjoyed watching, and we will update you guys as soon as we can on the new things going on in our lives. Yeah.
Sorry again it's taking this long to make an update video. We love y'all. Hope y'all are well, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.